Thank you. This has been like a really long journey for us, and I think when we were making this, when we started talking about this, we never imagined we'd find such incredible people, both in front of and behind the camera, to be as passionate about these characters in this world and this story as we are. And I'm just so grateful to have made this with them. And I'm so indebted to A24 for taking a chance on like a random Irish guy and having confidence and being so supportive and making me feel like way cooler than I am. They've been amazing, and yeah, this on a personal note, making this film was the happiest time of my life, and this cast and crew have burrowed into my heart. Yeah, so I hope you have as much fun watching it as we had making it. I hope it makes you laugh and maybe cry a little and brings you joy. And yeah, we'll be back afterwards for a very quick Q&A where I will allow them to speak a bit. And yeah, enjoy the film. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, David, the first time you're hearing it with an audience, how did it feel tonight?
It felt really good. People laughed. That was nice. Yeah, it was amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. So Eternity transforms the afterlife into the Junction, which is part bureaucratic hub, tourism expo, a dream factory. You know, we've seen romantic comedies, but maybe never before like this. Tell us about how the story came to be.
Well, it came together with my incredible co-writer, Pat, who originated it, and he kind of had the concept. And yeah, we just kind of created the idea of what it would be to be in this chaotic place where everyone is, this limbo where they have to choose where they go. And then we had so much fun devising all the different worlds and the ideas, all these different ideas of happiness and what it means to be happy. And so the idea of like a tourism expo, which is chaotic and crazy, felt kind of right. And surrounded with this artificial sky and artificial space. Yeah.
And did you have any cinematic inspirations in mind for how you pictured this world?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was always, I wanted to be Billy Wilder's The Apartment meets Powell and Pressburger's A Matter of Life and Death, and they were always the two big references. But like visually, The Apartment was, The Graduate was a huge one, kind of visually in the style and tone. But yeah, that kind of era of Wilder and Lubitsch and stuff, I think we wanted to do something that felt old school and in a contemporary way.
Yeah, it does have an old school Hollywood kind of feel to it.
Yeah.
And audience may not know, but you have a background in production design, which I think rings true in how the film plays.
Well, I studied it in my master's and could not get a job in it. So background is like loose. A passion might be more of the case. But yeah, I kind of loved working with our incredible designers, Azu, in creating this world and getting to kind of create my own afterlife. My favorite film, and the one I kind of did my master's thesis on, was A Matter of Life and Death. So just try to follow in their footsteps in any way was a dream.
How do you, as a storyteller, balance that, the scale of the world you created, but also then having the very intimate, very human kind of connection within that?
It's always about this big decision that Joan has and these two men, and just keeping a character focused with them throughout. I mean, the world is there and it's a big tapestry, but it's all about this big dilemma that Joan has. So yeah, you're just keeping it with these guys and always trying to focus on these incredible actors. It's not that hard.
Miles, Larry's a pretty ordinary guy who's then kind of thrust into this chaos of eternity. I think it may be safe to say you're used to playing very driven, very kind of high-octane roles. What appealed to you?
Sometimes I also played Willard, so there's...
Fair.
But, yeah.
And what appealed to you about Larry, a very kind of everyman?
Honestly, I loved it. I think when they say just this ordinary love and they make it seem like kind of a very just bland, you're just kind of coinciding with one each other and you're sharing a life, but where's the love? It's very plain. And I just feel, I love an ordinary love. You know, the fact that is their eternity where they're, you know, the happiest in this little house that's next to a similar little house and just kind of on that street. I really love it. I felt like I grew up with a lot of men who were devoted to their wife and put a lot of their, we're always going to, want to try and make her happy, and her happiness was his happiness. And I just thought this was a beautiful way to kind of take a peek behind the curtain of people that you just passed in the grocery store, but people that kind of stuck it out. And it just affected me greatly, honestly, when I read the script.
You and Elizabeth have a really great kind of lived-in dynamic. You can feel the comfortability and the bickering on screen. And I noticed it felt like you were very aligned with the actors who played your seniors in the film. I'm wondering how you modeled their mannerisms to kind of get that alignment in the performances.
It's actually reversed.
Yeah.
They we were making voice memos for them, and I think you shared. Did you share any dailies with them at all? With
the older Joan and older Larry.
We shared tapes and stuff with them, so we shot them at the end. I think it was really important that these guys weren't mimicking other actors, so we shot these guys first and shot the incredible Betty and Barry, who played the older versions, at the end, and kind of showed them their performance to what to model on.
And Barry's got a hell of a resume, so I'm sure David probably showed him some things, and he's like, yeah.
I remember showing you. I showed you a tape of Barry really early on, and then you were like, yeah, that's the accent.
So good.
Yeah, so it was a real it was great.
Nice. Elizabeth, Joan has to choose between this impossible choice, the devoted husband and the intoxicating pull of her first love. How did you embody this really impossible decision that she had to make?
Well, she was very overwhelmed, obviously. How did I embody it? I don't know. I just tried to do what was on the page as best as I could. And I don't know, stakes, and I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm so terrible at these after premieres. I'm sorry.
I want to talk about the dynamic that
totally it's not for me.
That you and John have, and Miles and Devine have. That I feel like the two pairs of you were really, really fantastic. There's great chemistry behind the two of you kind of navigating. Sorry,
I was the first to come on the film.
Shut the hell up.
I'm so grateful you finally said something about it.
Yeah.
We've needed to let that out of the bag. John Early was first attachment on this movie, and we all followed along. That's all anyone needs to know.
But I feel like those relationships are really key to the film working. Like they are your guides into this new world, and can you talk about kind of developing these pairs, Miles and Devine and John and Elizabeth?
Well, me and Miles are from Philly, so there it is.
Yeah. Yes,
Step
sir.
one.
Yes, sir.
No, I don't know. I think that was the gift I think that you brought to the table. Right? Because you kind of had an idea of whom you wanted. I don't know. I don't want to speak for you. Did you kind of have an idea of who you wanted to cast? Right? A little bit?
I mean, I had, the thing is, you never know. You have your dream cast.
Look her in the eyes when you tell her this.
Yeah.
You knew you wanted me?
No.
Right?
But the thing is, you never, Devine and Miles are amazing, but you don't know they're going to have chemistry until you get them together. And they just gelled and got on amazingly well and were extraordinary. And the same with Lizzie and John. I think it was just, it's like you get your dream cast and fuck, they better get on. And the chemistry was just really instant. I mean, I think my favorite day on set was Joan's arrival, and I think it was the first day we had all 5 of them together, and it was just electric. And I was like, oh fuck yeah, it's a good movie. We got it. But yeah, I think it was just, it's always a kind of a weird leap of faith, and you just hope that they will kind of connect, and they all just got on like a house on fire, and you can feel it, all those individual relationships so well. But that's up to them. That's their brilliance and what they brought to the characters. And I think Anna and Ryan in the script were big characters, but they made them so much effing bigger in the production. They just made them really stand out in a way I wasn't sure they would. It's kind of their movie. But no, they're extraordinary. But no, they're extraordinary. And again, that's just a gift that genius, brilliant actors bring that you just dream of as a director and you can't really bank on. Yeah.
Callum, Luke has waited 67 years for Joan. He's romantic and there's longing, but there's also a little bit of desperation in him as well, which I think you captured really well.
And some serious cheese. I mean, he's got some crazy lines. I mean, I think that was the balance really to work out between like this idea of this person who has based himself off of a matinee idol who's died young and doesn't really know who he is, but he loves this woman. He's decided that he's going to dedicate his life to waiting and hoping that she's gonna turn up, and because he has this idea of what romance is, it will be this sweeping gesture and she'll fall into his arms, but it doesn't work out like that.
What do you think Luke's life looks like in Mountain Land?
He's having a good time.
That sequel's gonna be fucking wild.
Devine and John, you two, as David mentioned, I feel like you have a very scandalous background. It bubbles up a few times in the film. Was any of that improvised, or was that all on the page?
That was on the page. They're past. We would improvise maybe a little bit off of that, but that was, Ryan's bi, and there's...
Are you?
Ryan is. Yeah.
Sorry. Ryan.
We're going to throw it out to your questions. I think we have time for maybe 3 questions, so if you have something, put your hand up, and I will, first in the row here.
You guys were all so amazing, but what I was blown away by was Betty Buckley. I was just wondering if you could tell us a little bit about how you got her on this.
Betty Buckley from Carrie, everybody, the gym teacher.
Yeah.
The question was, about Betty Buckley and her
Who
role.
plays the older version of Joan, who's like, it was just a gift and a dream to work with her. And yeah, I think it took a long time to find the right older version of Joan and Larry. And I didn't think we would get somebody like Betty Buckley, who's like a stage superstar, and Barry is such an extraordinary resume as well. And yeah, it was just a dream, and she was amazing and game for everything. And I think they set up that lived-in love story so beautifully in the start with such little time, and really kind of helped these guys along. So yeah, it was. I don't know. We offered her to her, and she said yes, and I was like, great. And she was everything I hoped she'd be. She was wonderful. Yeah. She's amazing.
Let's go right here.
There's a Titanic meme about Rose going into the afterlife, and it says something like, imagine you're Rose's husband, and after you spent a life with her, she goes to the man that she knew for less than a week.
Yeah.
Did that inspire this?
It did not inspire this, but I did see that recently, and I was all like, yeah. But it's like, you would feel really shit for her husband of 60 years if she went for Jack. So so this is an unofficial Titanic sequel. James Cameron's going to sue the shit out of me. No, but yeah, I saw that meme recently. I was like, that's good.
On the afterlives, how did you brainstorm all of these different places? I mean, there's just so much creativity in all the worlds.
So we wrote some into the script, and then I kind of basically had an Excel spreadsheet of like just every idea and a tagline, and like some of them came. Like, they were ridiculous and sublime and silly, but there was a kind of a truth to all of them. Like, I think a lot of women would like a man-free world. So it's a joke, but I think there's a truth to it. So yeah, we just went for as many as we could, some being truthful and honest, some being ridiculous and silly and wanting lots. I love a comedy that rewards second and third viewings. So there's lots of hidden jokes and lots of background kind of pamphlets and things. And yeah, I had so much fun just like weekends just writing ideas, and then working up the designs with Zoo and her team was so much fun. But yeah, it was a lot of wasted time doing that.
Another question.
wasted.
Let's go here.
Great job, guys. I had a question. When you guys were writing the script, were there any alternative endings that you went through and were like, oh, I really like this, but it doesn't necessarily work?
Yeah, like Ryan ending up with Joan. It just wasn't right.
Question was about alternative endings and if there were any.
No, this was always the ending. I think it went through several kind of rewrites of how it happened. I think it was really important for me that the first act is very much so Larry's, and the final act is all about her making her decision, and it's Joan's. So it, kind of how we got there has changed a few times with me and Pat, but no, it was always going back to Larry. And I kind of like that, like people can argue with that, and maybe she should have stayed with Luke because it's Callum. But it's yeah, I think the ending should never feel expected, but it feels right and beautiful. And I think, yeah, I mean, you know, Larry's the best, so. Sorry.
Yeah.
Ordinary love, baby. Ordinary love.
I think what that question gets at too is you do create that ambiguity, right? Like the choice is very difficult. And
it's not binary. Like, I mean, she could have gone to Parisland with Karen and had a great time. You know, I think we never wanted it to feel like an obvious choice. We never wanted to feel like Luke was a bad guy or in any way that, I mean, it was, no matter what happens, somebody's going to be heartbroken. I think that's the only way it would work. So yeah, I mean, it is an impossible choice. They're both great guys, and you want to make sure that the audience feels that dilemma, and that it's not necessarily binary. I mean, there is other choices. But yeah, I think she made the right choice, but yeah.
Thank you for bringing the film to Toronto. Thank you for showing it
so
to this
much,
audience.
everybody.
Eternity.